Hey, what's going on YouTube? Adam C here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget promo codes in the description of the video for both Southeast Cichlids and NorthernUSA.com if you guys want to pick anything up. So I've done probably, I think, over 250 videos on YouTube since I started my channel in 2015. So now and then I come across, I guess, what you would call the YouTube video creator's version of writer's block. You run out of ideas sometimes. And I'm always looking for really in-depth videos I can put out. Really, I guess, really good information I can put out. And a lot of times I forget about just talking about the basics that most people just want to learn. I know when I started this channel, 2015, I've been keeping fish already for 5 or 6 years. But before that, I really did rely on several people on YouTube as far as getting information for them and how to take care of these fish, when I started this over a decade ago. A channel, for example, like that is Viren Panchal, who's still on YouTube. He doesn't post as much anymore, but I got a lot of info from him. So one of the questions that I get more than anything is, what is my secret, in air quotes, secret to growing my fish faster and having them color up sooner? And, been doing videos quite a long time now. I would love to tell you that I have a secret for growing my fish faster and making them color up quicker. But I do not. It's all about just the basics of fish keeping. I don't have any secret. I don't have any fancy gizmos or gadgets. Anything that you can see in a lot of areas and you can really spend a lot of money on. I really try to keep it to the basics. And what I mean by that is there are a few factors that are really going to help your fish thrive, grow faster, and color faster. And if you're breeding fish, to breed faster. Number one, it's pretty obvious, that is water quality. The water for the fish is no different from the air for a human being. If a person is living somewhere where there's nonstop smoke and smog their whole life, they're not going to develop as well. They're not going to look as good. Any number of things. It's just not a good thing for any living creature to go through that. So with fish, it's the water. I change 50 to 60% of this water, sometimes even more, one time a week. And that really gives these fish clean water almost all the time, no matter how much I'm feeding. And we'll take a look from the side here. This is a 300-gallon, 8-foot long tank, and you can see all the way across. I know I've got something going on in my tank when I cannot read that green LED heater light that you see across the way. So as long as I can read that, I know my water's in good shape. It's nice and clear. Granted, clarity is not necessarily an indicator of good water, but that's what I kind of use as far as keeping tabs on my water other than just simple water testing. I do have 3 Fluval FX6 canister filters on this tank. I did have quite a few people trying to urge me to go with a sump. And this is not me saying canisters are better than a sump by any means. But when I bought this tank, this is not a cheap fish tank to buy. These are expensive tanks that are thousands of dollars. And I already had 3 FX6 filters being unused that I thought could filter this tank. So I really wasn't in the mood to spend, an extra $800, $1,000 to put a sump on here. So that being said, the biggest factor in having these fish grow well and color well is the water quality. But there is other things that do go into it. One, a pretty obvious one, and I'll walk over, is the feeding of the fish. I used to feed, well, I still do feed, North Fin cichlid formula as a staple. I still do today. I would feed that 6 days a week, and on occasion I would drop in some Krill Pro, maybe once a week at most. And that's just kind of what I stuck with. It did very well. But lately, ever since I had this 300, where I have more water volume, I started feeding the Krill Pro a bit more. And I went from once a week, mixing it in with my cichlid formula, to 3 times a week. That's mainly because I do have fish in here that are considered predator haps, which do well with increased protein. So I kind of slowly worked them up to getting it multiple times a week. And the color has come in a bit, and they grow much, much faster, it seems, with the combination of that increased protein and, high percentage water changes. So there's always clean water in there for them to grow. And obviously it doesn't hurt that they're in a 300-gallon tank and they have more room to move around. And the last thing that I really focus on to help my fish look great and grow very well is their stress level. If you want to increase anything on the positive side about your fish, be it color, growth, feeding, breeding, anything like that, the ways to increase that is by reducing stress. No question. I know it sounds super dumb. Super dumb. I get it. Trust me, I know. But it really, really makes a huge difference. When I started my first couple tanks, man, I had trouble all the time. And it wasn't one single thing. It was I couldn't get fish to color up. I would have fish die within a month of getting them. They would get bloat. They would fight. The tank looked terrible. Anything that you can think negatively about your aquarium, I would have that the first 2 months. I wasn't very experienced. I didn't have a lot of knowledge. I counted on a lot of other people that I knew to give me some info, and slowly I kind of, got the hang of what I was doing. And my problem is I was going to work at 6 a.m. in the morning. I would turn my light on before I left. When I got home at 5 p.m., I would come in, the light was still on. The fish were usually fighting and or dead. And it took me a while and some other people's input to notice that it was the amount of light that they were having that was just making them go crazy. Having these type of fish in a glass tank, a square box to begin with, is very, very unnatural. And a lot of these fish live at deeper depths, so bright lights is completely unnatural to them. So by having that light on for 12, 14 hours at a time, the fish were just going crazy. I wasn't giving them any chance of success. So just the little things like that over time that I realized needed to be dealt with in a better manner to have these fish succeed. So I probably only have my light on 2.5, 3 hours a day whenever I'm home after work, just to kind of check them out. Everything else is just kind of random sunshine coming through the blinds. So anyway, guys, I know that's a super common topic, and a lot of you probably learned nothing. Most people, are already very familiar with all these things. But there are new people that are coming into the hobby, which is fantastic. And any of you guys, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, anything, if you've got some good information to help some people that are newer into the hobby, please share that information. Not only will you save the new fish keepers money, you could save fish from dying. You can get more people in the hobby. And that's just good for everyone. So I really do encourage you guys that have a lot of information about keeping fish over the years, really please share that as best you can. Like I said, I by no means do I know everything. Not at all. But I think I do know enough to cover the basics and help some people that are just starting in the hobby. And I'm asking everyone else to do that. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching as always, and see you next time.